Namaste and welcome to Wise on Career Guide. Today we have Miss Nilima with us, who is an entrepreneur and an environmentalist. Let's hear from her, her journey of her career. Hi Nilima, welcome.
Hi, Neha. Thank you so much for inviting me to Wise Owl. I'm pretty excited about it.
So Nilima, before we get into your career journey, what has been your educational background like?
I'm a qualified engineer and I pursued my electrical engineering way back in 2007. After
Mhm.
4 years of working in a software company, I went on from the cubicles to the jungles to pursue a postgraduate diploma in forest management from the Indian Institute of Forest Management, Bhopal. And then
Okay.
very recently, in 2022, I completed my MPhil in environmental policy from the University of Cambridge on a Chevening scholarship.
Oh wow. So, what brought 4 years of studying engineering and just 4 years of job and going into the jungle? What brought about that change?
I think 4 years of working in a software company made me realize what I did not want to do. I was someone
Okay.
who was very passionate of working with the nature, about working for the environment. And I
Mhm.
definitely didn't want to spend my time working with computers where there was minimal human interaction. So I think that made
Okay.
me switch from the field of software to the field of nature, where, if I may say. And
Okay.
it brought me to, I also wanted to pursue a higher education. And I thought
Mhm.
the Indian Institute of Forest Management was a great platform to pursue a sectoral management, especially in the area of forestry or especially in the area of sustainable management.
Okay. So, what are the various roles that you've held through your career?
I started my career I mean, when I was working in the software space, I, I joined maybe as a associate consultant. And then
Okay.
post my MBA, I worked right from the scratch as a young professional. I moved on to do a senior policy associate role, and finally also been an outcome and impact assessment specialist with the government of Odisha. So I've worked within various capacities and roles with the government of Odisha mostly. And
Okay.
finally, in 2019, I started my own enterprise, which was working in the area of waste management. And
Mhm.
finally, I can say I'm the founder of my social enterprise. And
Mhm.
I'm also currently alongside consulting to the government of Odisha.
Okay. So, Nilima, your shift in your careers have not just been a role shift, they've been kind of an industry shift. How difficult or easy was it to, get into a completely new field, new domain, learn the ropes and work there?
I think as long as the sector or the domain interests you, you will continue or you will flourish in that. But if you do not, if that area does not interest you, then you will not perform to your level best. And exactly,
Mhm.
I think that's why I made the shift to the environment field, where I knew I would be able to give my best, where I knew I would be able to make a difference also.
Right.
So making a domain shift wasn't very difficult, in the sense that I knew I had to start right from scratch. But
Right.
the added experience of 4 years did give me some kind of leverage to to the work that I did later on. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was a difficult shift, but I see people transitioning from software roles to making video blogs to becoming content creators. So yeah, anything is
Right.
possible. As long as you pursue your passion, or as long as you pursue your interests, I think it's absolutely feasible.
Okay. So, Nilima, as you mentioned, you just finished your MPhil last year. Was it difficult going back into, studies again after working for so many years?
Coming back, answering your question, actually, Neha, it was slightly difficult to say getting back to studies, but I
Mhm.
think the scholarship really helped me work towards this challenge. I
Okay.
got the opportunity to study in one of the best colleges of the universities of the world, and
Right.
I was definitely privileged enough that, and I knew I had to take the best of the opportunity that was presented to me. Being in a world famous institution, understanding the presence of so many wonderful scholars who've passed out from that university was actually overwhelming at first. So I was telling that maybe if I had joined as a fresher, then I would not have come with that kind of experience that I had brought along. But now I bring along the practical exposure as well as learning from great
Right.
faculties and peer members, which actually aided to the learning. It was slightly difficult adjusting to a new country rather than getting back to studies, I would say. But
Okay.
all in all, it all happened well, and it was a great experience for me.
So, Nilima, you've been working in the environment sector for some time, and now world over, all countries are kind of waking up to the need for it. And that is opening a lot of, jobs and roles that are coming up now.
Yeah.
Can you just share what are the new roles or jobs that are opening up in this sector?
Yeah, I was actually made more aware about the various kind of professions and roles when I went on an expedition to the Arctic in 2019. So
Okay.
there I was, there I had interacted with a few scientists from the National Center for Polar and Ocean Research. It's based in
Mhm.
Goa. And
Okay.
I met scientists who had backgrounds in microbiology, glaciology, atmospheric sciences, um, and so many other fields we that are actually required in the climate space or in the environment space. That is one
Right.
aspect that I saw people. So careers related in these kind of STEM fields mostly. The other kind
Mhm.
of careers that I see are also in the areas of ESG, the environmental social governance sector. The CSR space is also one that is taking up a lot of thing in the climate and the environment sector. The other things are climate finance, renewable energy. These are also a lot of upcoming jobs in these sector. So the scope
Okay.
is there definitely. There's a lot of potential, and I
Mhm.
think there are more green jobs opening up.
Oh, wow. So, Nilima, when you started your journey as an entrepreneur, you know, taking that plunge, leaving your job and, starting in that segment, it's, a very difficult and very hard choice to make. What were some of the things that you considered before getting into it, the pros and cons analysis that you would have done?
Yeah. So I'll give you a background of how I started actually the organization. So as I said, in 2019, I made an expedition to the Arctic, and there it
Right.
was in the Arctic where I saw a whole lot of waste. So
Mhm.
there was plastic bottles, there were fishing nets, there were
Okay.
other kind of plastics that were found in the high reaches of the planet, and I had never imagined that. So when I came
Mhm.
back to Odisha, when I came back to my hometown, all I could see around me was trash being burnt, or animals eating from the kind of garbage, or mixed waste getting dumped in one of the black spots of the city. And
Right.
these sites actually made me think about our waste footprint. And that's when I started my organization, Seba Green Solutions, working
Mhm.
towards waste management, waste awareness, and providing composting solutions also for like waste generators. So
Okay.
that's the start of the journey. However, I did not leave my job to start this organization. I did
Mhm.
it alongside, because I
Okay.
really wanted to understand as to how this sector will welcome me as an individual who wants to take steps towards the environment. So
Right.
I went slowly and slowly. And maybe I'm glad that I did not leave my job, because the 2 years of pandemic also happened. So it
Right.
was a kind of a blessing in disguise. And finally, when post my MPhil, when I came back, I thought of giving my full heart and soul to the startup and see how it functions.
Okay. So, just to understand, when people are thinking of starting up something, the monetary factor is a major, consideration. What you doing is I don't think currently a very highly monetized segment as yet. So, what was the, the pros and cons that you did there to understand when will you reach your breakthrough? Because obviously you've employed people who need to be paid salaries as well.
Yeah.
So, what was the, because business as such, irrespective of where we're starting, that monetary flow is something that every entrepreneur has to consider. So, how
Yeah.
did you do your analysis?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the initial investment definitely came in from the job that I was doing. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that actually really helped. My family also supported me with the initial investment. But I think in
Okay.
today's scenario, there are a lot of incubators, there are a lot of government schemes and programs that actually help entrepreneurs, and especially women entrepreneurs also, to actually take that first plunge or take that first step, so there is
Okay.
actually incubation labs. There are a lot of incubators, accelerators that will help you in this journey. So there are a
Okay.
lot of networks and cohorts, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
a part of a few of them also. So that actually helped me take the first initial steps. And yeah,
Okay.
it's been going on. It's been going on till now. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, one definitely needs to look at finances before one takes a step. I wouldn't say one should not take the risks, but one should take calculated risks personally.
Calculated risk. Okay. So now that you're an entrepreneur and you're hiring, one question that I think makes a lot of difference when it comes to hiring is educational background is one thing, but employers look for soft skills also. So in the environment segment, what are the kind of soft skills that are expected from the candidates?
The first definitely is communication. But
Mhm.
even if someone is not good at communication, I wouldn't completely bar the person from not joining me. Maybe the person is good in graphics designing, maybe the person is good in content creation, maybe the
Right.
person whom I'm looking at is good at documentation, maybe the person is good at researching. So these are the various
Mhm.
kinds of skills that one definitely would require, and this is maybe for all kind of jobs. So
Right.
I think your passion towards that sector definitely is one thing, and your
Mhm.
personality traits will definitely help and make you the best fit for the job.
Okay. So, Nilima, your journey so far, you've experienced various segments and sections of, the corporate world and the environment world. If I were to ask you one tip to be, successful in whatever career that one chooses, what would that be?
I would say just dabble in that field, understand the field well, understand if you
Mhm.
actually are interested in that field. And there are various subsections to each of the industry also. So
Okay.
try and understand each of it, give time to it. There is no pressure of having to continue it if you do not like it. There
Mhm.
are various opportunities available. You have to analyze your own strengths and weaknesses and make your best in
Okay.
that pathway.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, Nilima, and sharing your journey with us. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Neha. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best.
So that was Miss Nilima sharing with us her journey of how she started as an engineer and then moved on to be in the environment sector, being a consultant, and recently starting her own company in waste management. As she said that, when you start, that is not the end part also of your career. Your starting is just that, the starting path of your career. You will take time to understand what you like, what you don't like, what are your strengths and weaknesses, and basis that you can decide whether you want to continue in the sector that you've started in or you want to make a switch. Once you've decided to make a switch, there are a lot of opportunities available, be it another job in a different sectors, company, or being an entrepreneur, there are opportunities. But before you take or decide to change anything, you need to understand your strengths and weaknesses. I hope you learned something from this video. If you have any questions that you want answered, do write to us in comments below and we'll get back to you. Also, do like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you.